All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the late night with Coach Eli edition. Glad you could all join me here on this very, very early Thursday morning. I believe it's Thursday. Yes, it is. It's Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. My apologies for starting later than the scheduled start time. I have to say, folks, my allergies have been acting up lately. I went on a nice, 6-mile hike over the weekend, and I've got to tell you, I mean, it really, it really messed me up. So, I had to take my allergy medication and get some rest. And if you have allergies, folks, it feels like you're sick when you're actually not sick. Okay, you're not sick when you have allergies. You're just allergic. It's an allergic reaction, right? And you have to take medication. I take Allegra and Flonase, and it works pretty well. But yeah, they've been really acting up lately. So that's part of the reason why I didn't go live earlier today. Plus, I had some other things to do. But again, my apologies for the late start. Before we get started here on this show, let me make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it absolutely has. And let me also check out the back end of YouTube to make sure things are rolling smoothly. Yes, there are a lot of pollens in the air. Yeah, it's going to be a really rough or a very rough allergy season this year. So, folks, be prepared for it. Be prepared for it. Let's see here. Yeah, YouTube is rolling very well on the back end. And once again, as I mentioned a second ago, we're simulcasting live on Facebook. Let me just make sure that Facebook is rolling smoothly. I mentioned a second ago, we're simulcasting live on Facebook. Let me just make sure that Facebook is rolling smoothly. Yes, it is, Coach Eli. Facebook is rolling smoothly. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. And one more bit of business before we get to the show here. This channel on the YouTube side of things, and even on Facebook, is sponsored by the Discover Community Network. My good longtime friend, Troy Brewer, who runs an amazing marketing company. He's been running the company for over 15 years. I've personally known him and worked very closely with him for 10 years. And he's amazing. If you want to check him out and his company out, go in the description about a third of the way down on the YouTube side of things. www.discovercommunitynetwork.com is the main site. Then I've also shared one of the subsidiaries, the DC Internet Radio Network. Check it out. And for all of your branding and marketing needs, Troy Brewer is a genius. He's a good guy. He's very, very trustworthy. I put my name on the line for him. And he's very reasonably priced as well. And he'll even give you an initial consultation at no charge. And if you would like for me to personally connect you with Troy Brewer, email me at coacheli@coach.elias.com, and I'll set you up with him. Or we can even have a three-way conversation. I work very closely with the Discover Community Network. On Facebook, you can go to the search bar and type in Discover Community Network, and you'll find all of their business pages there, including the main page, Discover Community Network. And trust me, if you know how to navigate Facebook, which I'm sure most of you do by now, you'll find out the information on how to connect with Troy. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm seeing some new people pop on in here. I'm seeing some new people. Carlos Martinez, boss. And Carlos Martinez, a very important guy. Well, you know what, Carlos Martinez? I see what you tried to spell out there between two messages to bypass my spam filter. And that's going to make me say, have a nice day, Carlos. Thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts of being a person that's not so nice, that likes to use some slurs that are inappropriate to me directly, but they're also against the terms of service of YouTube, and they're just really inappropriate. And it shows the type of human that you are, Carlos Martinez. Over here on the Grip on Life channel, we teach people positivity and to learn to love each and every person out here, despite their race, their sex, their national origin, their sexual orientation. We love everyone here, Carlos Martinez, stock account. So you can take those hateful slurs and, shove them up your, what, sir. That's all I'm going to say to you, sir. That's all the attention you're going to get from me, Carlos Martinez. You're probably the doctor, but that's okay. That's okay. The doctor has been sleeping lately. If you don't know who the doctor is, then you haven't been around my channel for a while on the YouTube side of things, and it doesn't really matter. He is absolutely irrelevant. All right, so tonight we're going to be discussing there's a huge lack of consideration in the modern digital world, how to navigate this successfully. One more time. There's a huge lack of consideration in the modern digital world, how to navigate this successfully. This is a very, very important topic, folks, that I've touched on many times in the past, but I'm going to go into great detail tonight or this early morning. It feels like it's night because it's only 12:49 a.m. on the West Coast here in California, and it is 3:49 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I believe who was that said it's almost 3 o'clock where they're at? Psychotic Savage. Yeah, you're probably in the Central Time Zone, which makes me believe, Psychotic Savage, that you're somebody I've known from the past that lives in the Central Time Zone, probably in the Texas area, right? Maybe you're somebody that I know and you don't want me to identify you because you're fearing that I'm going to remove you. But it's okay. As long as you're cool, Psychotic Savage, it's all good. Coach Eli's very intuitive. He picks up on patterns. I pick up on patterns, but that's all good. That's all good. So, yeah, I've touched up on this topic many times, but I'm going to go into great detail because I continue to have experiences in all aspects of my life, personally and professionally, regarding people being very inconsiderate in this crazy modern, digital world we all live in. And if you don't think that the digital world has a lot, if not everything, to do with people being very inconsiderate nowadays, then I don't know where you've been for the last 20 to 30 years that the internet, came out, and now the internet's pretty much mainstream. It's where we spend most of our time at, and even if we're out in the real world, we've got these smartphones attached to our hips, like my iPhone 12 Pro Max, right? Right? So let me get to the chat here, and then I'm going to share with you folks some messages here. I'm not going to show them on the screen, but I talked to 3 different women today on Match.com. If you've been following me for a while, I'm looking for true love. I've been looking for true love, for a while now. My ex-girlfriend and I split up about 2.5 years ago, and I took some time off. And for the last, I'd say, year and a half or so, I've been looking for true love. And this time around, I have to tell you, it's been more challenging than ever. And I've always been the same good person, right? I'm a good dude, and I do things the right way, and I'm an easygoing guy. But it just seems to be getting more and more difficult to not only get a date with a woman, but even if you get that date, for that date to turn into something more. And a lot of people may say that it has to do with, they're not physically attracted to you, or, they don't like your personality, or it was different in person. Well, I look exactly the same in person as my pictures and have the same personality, if not better, right? And while I understand that in many cases people do catfish each other nowadays, they share pictures online that are 10 years old, then when you meet these people in person, they are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds heavier and 10 years older. Now, I can understand that, but when you're the exact same person in person as you portray yourself on your online dating profiles, there are many other reasons besides a lack of physical attraction or overall attraction. Even if a woman is attracted to you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, there are many other things that prevent things from moving further. And I'm going to tackle these things here today and share with you folks my thoughts based on my own personal experiences. That's why I decided to become a coach. I share my personal experiences so you folks can compare it to what you've experienced and say, hell yeah, Eli, I've been through the same thing. I thought I was alone, Eli. I thought that, there's something wrong with me or something. No, there's nothing wrong with you. There's really nothing wrong with anyone. I wouldn't go that far. Some people have issues, right? But it's the way the modern world is. The digital modern world allows us to dismiss people so quickly, block them on our phones through instant messenger programs. It's just, wow, it's just incredible what's happening nowadays. Let me get to the chat here on the YouTube side of things. On Facebook, nothing happening. It's too late for my Facebook peeps to be out because typically the people that show up live in my area and they're asleep. The YouTube people are night owls. There are some night owls out there on YouTube, so it doesn't really matter what time I go live. Plus, my YouTube audience is a global audience. There are people all over the world. So the cool thing about broadcasting day or night on YouTube, there are always going to be people that are going to be available to watch your streams. And, for the people that are in the different time zones in different countries, when I do late night streams, this more so caters to them. So, and for the people that can't watch it live, hey, there's always the replay, right? Right. Lewis Fuller says, good evening, host. I sent you a message to your private Hangouts, and Lewis, I responded to you right away. I'm not sure if you have the Hangouts app on your phone or your tablet and you get instant notifications. Maybe you don't, but I did respond to you, Lewis. I'm definitely willing to help you free of charge. I'm not going to go any further into it because it's a private matter. You can check out your Hangouts message and reach out to me in the morning or anytime this week or whenever you're free, and I'd be happy to help you and your sister out. And Lewis, because you're a moderator here and you're a good friend, I will come out and say this. I will help you free of charge, Lewis. I will help you and your sister free of charge. You're good people, and you've helped me out tremendously. So I appreciate it. I want to reciprocate to you and your sister what you've done to help me with my channel. You've done a lot. You've done a lot. You've shared me out. You connected me with a lot of great people, and I greatly appreciate it. And the least I can do, Lewis, is help you out in a time of need where you're going through some changes due to things out of your control. And I'm going to be there for you, brother. And trust me, things are going to be okay. I promise you, bro, things are going to be okay. Let's see here. Life is great. Hello, Eli. Welcome to the show. Life is great. The real Rosie Ren's Empire Forever channel's in the house. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Information Man Show. Add a grip on life. Peace and respect. Hey, peace and respect to you too, brother. How you doing tonight? How are you doing, Information Man Show? Welcome to the show. Psychotic Savage says, hey, James Jello. There are a lot of pollens in the air. I read that earlier. Yeah, absolutely, man. This is going to be, James, this is going to be like I said, a pretty bad, a terrible allergy season. And the other day when I was live, I forget who it was that saw it. I forgot to take my Flonase before the show. And towards the end of the show, people were beginning to notice that, I was struggling to get the words out a little bit. I was stuffed up and clogged up. And, it's the allergy season. And when you go hiking like I do, there are a lot of pollens out there. You're in the woods, right? So you're more susceptible to having, allergy attacks when you're out in the woods. And that carries over throughout the entire week because it's in your system, right? Your system's trying to process it still, right? So if you've had allergies or if you have allergies, you know what I'm talking about. But I feel good today. Hey, I prepped myself quite well. I had a nice dinner earlier tonight and had a low-carb protein-style burger from In-N-Out. And I used the restroom like you care to know. My stomach was full. Now it's empty. I've taken my fiber supplements it's all good. Taking my allergy medication, and it's all good. I'm like brand new at 47 years old, right? If you're curious to know about the fiber supplements I take, they're pretty good. It's the only company that I trust. It's the only company that works. And if you want me to share with you folks, let me know in the chat. It would be an unpaid endorsement. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. Maybe I should become affiliated with them. But I'm not going to start doing affiliate links and merch until I probably reach 10,000 subscribers. But I certainly will still recommend things that have worked for me because they may end up working for you as well to deal with similar situations, right? Psychotic Savage, it's almost 3 a.m. where I'm at. That's right. You're in the central time zone, Psychotic Savage, like I said a little bit ago. Let's see here. Let me see here. Oh, it's you, Seth. That's right. Yeah, that's right. How you been, Seth? What's been going on? I forgot it's you, bro. How you been, man? I remember you mentioned that the other day. I totally forgot, bro. How are things going for you, dude? If you want to email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com and send me a link to your main channel, unless that's your main channel now, I'd be happy to unblock you if you're blocked, bro. But thank you so much for being here. So, anyway. Let me see here. All right, I think we are at the bottom of the chat. Yes, we are. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is dating in the modern world and how there's a huge lack of consideration regarding it. And let me do this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to open up my Match.com app and look at the messages here. And I'm going to share with you folks. I'm not going to put on the screen. Obviously, I have to do a lot of editing to protect the ladies' identities so the trolls wouldn't attack them, right? So I'm just going to basically read to you folks the responses I got. I messaged these 3 women. What I do is I message like, whenever I sit down every so often, I'll take a couple of hours and I'll message like 100 women, on Match. And the reason why I do that is because if you only message 1 or 2, you may not get a message. You're basically playing the law of large numbers nowadays when it comes to dating, regardless of how you meet women, but especially more so online. So I'll message 100 women, right? Out of those 100 women, about 10 of them, 10% will respond, right? And some will respond and say, well, great profile, but, I don't think we're a match or whatever. Even though my profile I put, don't feel the need to respond to say we're not a match. Just don't respond, right? I can understand that, right? But some will do that. And then typically, 3 to 5 of them, will express some interest. Great profile. I like how direct you are, Eli. You're straightforward. I'd be interested in getting to know you better, right? I don't have a preference on hair color. I don't have a preference on race, hair color. I'm not overly picky on body type. I mean, if a woman is extremely overweight, that's not attractive to me. But, some women have a little extra, 20, 30 pounds, that's fine, right? If it gets to 50, 70 or more, that's not attractive to me. I want to be with a woman that is reasonably height, weight proportionate, that loves the outdoors, that loves to go hiking. If she's not in the best shape, she's willing to go hiking with me and get in better shape and stay healthy. So I'm not as picky as I was during my younger days. It's my main channel now says Psychotic Savage. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing, Psychotic Savage. So yeah, like I said, out of those 100 women that you message, you're going to get 10 messages. And some of them will say you're not a match. But typically about 3 to 5 out of 100 will show interest, right? Well, today, out of my 100 messages, I got 3 women that showed interest, right? And so basically, depending on what they're saying to me, sometimes I'll ask them for their number. Sometimes I'll just give them my number. Now, I'm going to share 3 different messages here with you. And let's see. The first one that got back to me, I sent her a message and she goes, all she did was respond by saying, good morning. That's all she said was good morning. What that's telling me is that you didn't make the effort, ma'am, to write good morning. I really enjoyed your profile. Seems like we have a lot in common. Would you be interested in getting to know me better? That was a lazy response. Now, this woman is 42 years old, and she has kids that live at home with her partially. And looking at the profile and looking at her quick response, what it's telling me is that she's been trying to find a good guy, but she's had some horrible luck. And so she's gotten lazy, right? You can tell she's a little jaded by her response, right? So I wrote back, I'm just going to refer to these women as ma'am to not dox their names, right? Good morning, ma'am. Thanks for your response. How are you today? And what are your thoughts about my profile? She gets back to me 2 minutes later and listen to what she says. I'm going to say it verbatim. She goes, I'm glad you're not just trying to get to fuck me. I've always been ready for kids. Life is great. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Right now, I'm just looking to find a woman that's going to want to go on a second date and get to know me, bro. Good morning, Lewis. Welcome to the show, bro. She responds and says, I'm glad you're not just trying to get to fuck me. Well, ma'am, thanks for making me aware of that. I mean, eventually I would like to do that with you if we get together and we're in a relationship, but I get it, man. You're basically sharing with me that you're really, really jaded. And you're getting a lot of guys that are either trying to get with you in that way, or some of them have bypassed your radar and manipulated you, pretending that they won the relationship just to have a one-nighter with you. It seems like this woman has been around the Match.com block. Straight to the point, pardon the pun. I can respect what she's saying, but she's jaded, bro. Okay? And then she sends me another message a minute later saying that's pretty much just all I get. Well, why, ma'am? Why is that all you get? You see, there are guys that are just going to put that out there, right? 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 But it's also how the women present themselves. It's how the women present themselves, right? It's the pictures that they take. This woman had a picture of her in her bathroom with a short skirt, and it was kind of like a provocative picture that is not overly provocative enough to get removed, right? So this is the thing that I have an issue with ladies like this, or many ladies do this, right? They know that men are visual creatures for the most part, right? So they put out these sexy pictures trying to get our attention sexually, right? And then they wonder why some guys just want to fuck them, right? With no disrespect, right? Wow, she's up front. That's not a good sign. She wants a ring on it. No, I think this woman is very, very jaded. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to handle this. Let me continue here, right? So I wrote back to her. I'm just, real quick, right? I'm on my laptop. I'm multitasking, doing some other things. As messages come through, I take a minute and I respond real quick, right? I wrote, that's pretty sad. Most men and women are pretty pathetic with their behavior nowadays. I like your attitude, which I kind of really don't, but I just want to see how she responds, right? It is very refreshing, which it's really not. It's kind of jaded, but if I tell her that, then I'm not going to find out her true colors, right? Right? Did you like my profile and pictures? You can be honest with me. I'm a big boy, LOL. She writes back to me and says, I think, 3 minutes later, I think you're handsome. And she misspells your. It should be YOU''RE. You are handsome, not YOUR. When women misspell your instead of you are, YOU''RE, it basically tells me that they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's a big turnoff right there. Okay? She goes, I think you're handsome, and I would like to put on a dress and heels for you. Well, ma'am, you just said a second ago that you're tired of guys just wanting to F you. Now you're saying I'm handsome and would like to put on a dress and heels for me. Why? Because I'm handsome enough that I'm a guy that you would want to F you, ma'am? Listen to this, guys. This is pathetic, right? Listen to this. It's not just the online dating world psychotic. This is how women are nowadays, right? So I wrote back. I said, LOL, what's your number? And I'll text you to arrange our call. You know what she does? The typical thing that jaded women do that are very guarded, right? She goes, what's your number? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to play this game, right? So I just said, I gave her my number and I said, please text me first so I know it's you. I haven't heard from her. Who knows? Maybe she'll get back to me tomorrow. Maybe she won't. This is not a woman I would pursue. This is a very, very jaded woman that, uses her body to get attention, puts out provocative pictures that aren't overly provocative to the point of where they won't get removed from Match.com, but provocative enough where it's going to basically get guys to say what she's claiming she's upset that they're saying, right? It's contradicting, right? I'm not surprised, Riff, at all. I'm just sharing a story. I'm not surprised. So that's one of them, right? Haven't heard from her, right? Now, another one. Okay? I sent her a message, and literally, like 15 minutes later, she gets back to me. She says, and she wrote me 2 paragraphs. I'm like, wow, that's great. She would be a hard catch and wouldn't be worth it. No, yeah, dude, she would make me work it. And I'm not gonna work it. Like I'm the man, I'm the prize. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that women haven't risen up, they have, and I'm all for equality in a relationship, but I'm the man, I'm the prize. Okay? You'd be lucky to have a guy like me, especially in this modern world. But no, this is the type of woman that would question everything, that would be flaky. It's not worth it. Like if a woman doesn't make it easy for you, then it's not worth it. So here's what this woman responded. She goes, "Hi Eli, I'm super new on here. That's good, man, because you haven't had enough experience to be jaded yet. That's great. But understand your point of view." Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that, and your grammar and spelling is on point. I like it so far. I'm very busy at work most days. Well, what woman isn't? That's part of the problem right there. Women having an issue, like I've said in the past, balancing their work and their personal life. Listen, if it's not one thing, guys, it's another. Now, I think this woman is good so far. She's a good woman, right? But this is the problem. I'm very busy at work most days. Why do they have to make a point of saying I'm very busy at work most days? Right then and there, that's going to basically scare most guys away, or not scare them away. Say, look, this is a working woman that is not going to prioritize getting to know a guy. It's going to be very difficult to make dates with her because she's going to have this schedule. Plus, she has kids. Well, let me tell you more here. I'm completely open to talking on the phone. I prefer that. Well, that's great. Excellent. Next paragraph. The online thing is so different. For me, I've always gotten to know someone as a friend. Well, that's a problem, ma'am. And then an attraction develops. Well, you see, ma'am, this is the thing here. And I like this lady. I may give her a chance. What she's not getting is that she is friends with guys first, the thirsty beta male orbiters that are on backup status, right? Okay? She's talking about the thirsty beta male orbiters that are on backup status. So all women have these friends, right? And then all of a sudden an attraction develops, right? Maybe something happens, right? After a while, because she feels comfortable being with the beta male orbiter after a while. So if the guy makes a move, even though he's not what she's typically looking for, right? she'll give him a chance. But how long is that going to last? How long is it lasting in the past? She's a single woman, right? Okay. I'll get to the chat just a second here before I go to the third and final one. Attraction is either there or it isn't. If you can't picture making out with somebody or being intimate with somebody 3 seconds after you meet them, it doesn't mean you're going to do it right away. If you don't feel that instant spark when you meet someone, especially nowadays, it's never going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter how long you've been friends with them or not. Attraction is either there from the very beginning or it's not. It's a must, not a choice. And that's a lot of what women don't get nowadays. They give the betas the chance because they orbit around for a while, right? And then they feel comfortable with them, but then they get with them and they're bored out of their mind because they're betas. Beta man, beta man, beta man. So again, for me, she goes, I've always gotten to know someone as a friend and then an attraction develops. Whereas here, it seems the opposite. Well, ma'am, to be honest with you, it's not just on Match.com. It's about life in general when it comes to dating. Attraction is a must, not a choice. What she's trying to say in other words is that guys are trying to meet women as soon as possible and see if there's an attraction there, a physical and mental and emotional attraction, right? Because no one wants to waste their time hanging around as a beta male orbiter, right? They either want it to work or not. Like, it doesn't mean you're going to sleep with someone on the first date. But if you can't picture making out or sleeping with someone on the first date, both the man and the woman, it's not going to go anywhere. So she's basically thinking that, well, on Match.com, guys don't want to be friends first. They just want to get to the point. Well, of course, man. We're not looking to be friends. We're looking to be lovers. Hey, EMK, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you. And the reason why she's saying that is because she's probably had some guys reach out to her trying to hook up with her, right? And the reason why a lot of the decent women want to be friends first is because they don't want to take a chance sleeping with somebody and it not working out. And a lot of women have done that in the past. They've taken that chance, slept with a few guys after a few dates, right? Or sooner than that. And now they're like, okay, now we don't want that to happen again. So instead of just letting the natural flow of progression happen, we're going to require guys to be friend zoned first for a certain amount of time and then let the attraction build up over time. No, attraction is either there or it isn't from the very beginning. That's the bottom line. Then she goes, so I'm not sure how to navigate this whole thing. I just joined yesterday. Well, that's good, ma'am, because I'm going to get to you first. So here's what I wrote back to her. I said, I'm so with you on everything you mentioned. I agree with, I get why she feels that way. I mean, I don't think she understands it the right way. And maybe when we talk on the phone, I'll explain it to her. But I think she has good intentions. So far, this is the best option right now for me to focus time on. I appreciate that you like talking on the phone. I feel that's a great way to build an initial attraction. So I'm telling her that I understand where you're coming from, but attraction's either there or it isn't. We'll talk on the phone, and if it feels great, we'll meet and we'll take it from there. But I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be on backup status. I'm not going to be friend zoned. I'm not going to be buddy and hang out with you and do things and pay for things and not get any romance out of it. What's the point, right? We're here for a relationship, not for just friends, right? I go, here's my number. And they gave her my number. Feel free to text me anytime today, and I will text you back to arrange our call. For now, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Sincerely, Eli. So she gets back to me at 9:06 p.m. We were messaging in the morning, 7:30 a.m. She goes, "Hi, Eli. I worked late and have my kids. Dinner and getting them to bed now. I hope to text you tomorrow morning. Good night." So she's interested, but she's also telling me her schedule is completely full. And what it's telling me, and this is a problem with many women nowadays, is that they're single moms. They're working all day to provide for their kids. There's probably a deadbeat dad, right? Or the dad, only has custody, a small amount of the time. She's the main provider for the kids, right? She has probably either full custody or more custody than the ex-husband did or does. And she's saying, "Hi, I worked late." Okay, so you're exhausted. You're working lots of hours. Then you have your kids to cook dinner for. I get that. And you're just getting them to bed at 9 o'clock. And so at what point throughout the day would she have time to talk to a guy she wants to date, right? So if she gets back to me tomorrow, this is what I wrote back to her. I said, "No problem. Get some rest, and I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Good night." She goes, "Good night again." So she seems like a very nice woman. And this is the type of woman that I would consider giving a chance. But she's new to online dating. Maybe she is newly divorced and just putting herself back out there. That's what I'm assuming is happening. And now she's got to go out there and date, being a single mother, working all day, probably 5 days a week, having her kids most of the time. Where is she going to find time for a relationship, right? And I'm not complaining. I'm saying she's a good woman I would consider dating and having a relationship with, right? But these are the things that women are not taking into consideration before they put an online dating profile out there or put themselves out there. I take this into consideration. I'm like, okay, if I didn't have time to go hiking or date someone on the weekends or some weeknights, if I didn't have time to date and be able to balance my work and personal life, I wouldn't put myself out there. But I'm noticing with the majority of women nowadays, they put out a profile and they don't take into consideration that it's going to take time and effort, and you're going to have to make that person a priority, right? Let me look at the chat before I get to the third and final one, and this one's going to be the most interesting one, okay? Let me see here. Lewis, Life is Great says, "Wow, she's up front. That's not a good sign. She wants to ring on." Okay, I already read that. Life is Great says, "I had a girlfriend that told me after 2 weeks she wants to be engaged before we did anything." Well, I'd say have a nice life. That's what I would say. I'm not marrying any woman that I haven't been intimate with. And typically, here's the thing. Like, if there's no intimacy by the second or third date, there will not be a third or fourth date. Listen, if women are into you, they're into you as much as you're into them. And they're going to want you sexually as much as you want them. Women that dangle the carrot are not women that are going to work out anyway. A woman that really is into you and has a high level of interest is going to want it as much as you. And all you got to do is play your cards right and be cool, right? Don't waste your time on somebody like that. I'm sure you realize that. Hang on a second. Riff sings the song, "You're a beggar on the street of love." I hear you, Riff. That's pretty funny, man. Psychotic Savage. "I don't like online dating because all I see is catfishing, bots, and it's cost money just to text money. For me, online dating died in 2017. Psychotic Savage. I would use Match.com or I would use eHarmony, one of those two sites. If you use any of the sites that have a free aspect on it, like Plenty of Fish or OkCupid or Bumble, you're going to get a lot of spam. I think Bumble is okay. I did try Bumble out for a little bit and, got some women to send me their numbers, but they would flake out on our calls. Or even the one woman I did call and talk with, was just all over the place. And I just wasn't interested after our phone call. It was going to take too much work to even get a date, let alone progress things forward to intimacy and, further into a relationship from that point, right? If a woman makes it too difficult, if she makes it difficult at all, then you're gonna move on to the next. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, dude. Don't use Tinder, don't use Plenty of Fish, don't use OkCupid or any of those swipe left, swipe right ones. If you want to meet a good woman, pay for Match.com for 3 months, a month or 3 months. I would suggest 3 months, and send a lot of messages. And you're going to find a couple of women that are going to be real and they're going to be interested. And you can tell which ones are the clones and the catfishers or the spammers, right? Not the clones, the spammers is what I meant to say. Let's see here. Riff Mago said, I read that earlier. I'm surprised that you're surprised. No, I'm not surprised, brother. I like the company of a woman, and I want to find a good woman that I can go hiking with, and I can share romance with, and take nice drives with, and we can getaway trips. I want to find someone to share my spare time with. Yeah, I hang out with friends every now and then and family, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I enjoy the company of a woman. What's wrong with that, right? Life is great. She would be a hard catch and wouldn't be worth it. Right. You're talking about the first one I was talking about. Yeah, I don't put up with that, right? And I bet you she probably won't even text me. She's just seeking validation, probably. That's what a lot of women do online. They seek validation. They go through the process, sometimes even give you their number, and then they don't even, call you. Or if you arrange a phone call with them, then they basically block you and ghost you before the time of your call because a better option came up. Life is great says exactly. I don't play it that way unless she was truly worth it. Right. Riff Mugwell says, unfortunately for you, most women today want to be the ringmaster cracking the whip. That's the problem I've been encountering, and I don't put up with that. I'm the man. Okay? It's okay for women to work and make good money and provide for themselves. But if they try to wear the pants in the relationship, then I'm gone. And you can typically tell within the first few minutes or even few seconds of a phone conversation. You can tell by their tone of voice and their demeanor, right? If she's not submissive enough and doesn't act more feminine than masculine, then I'm out. Peace out. It's not going to work. James says, she sounds like she's not a Burger King night out. She's not even worth McDonald's. She's not even worth a handshake, bro. In my opinion. Give me a second here. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see here. All right, we're good. Life is great. I wouldn't chase any woman, though. I don't chase any woman. I agree. Never chase. Let them chase you. Let them chase you. If they ask for your number, give them your number and go on with your day. And if they reach out to you at some point, then take it to the phone immediately. Don't text them all day, every day. And then after one call, set up a date to meet them briefly and see if there's chemistry before you put any more effort into it. James Jello says it's an excuse as to why they're single. Well, I don't think most women understand why they're single. I think that they're upset because men are not, they think men are not respecting them for having risen up and being independent. And what these women don't understand is the fact that we appreciate a woman that works and we respect a woman as our equal, but that's not what biologically turns us on about a woman. What turns us on about a woman is her submissive, sweet, beautiful, loving, caring, kind, and considerate nature. And a lot of women are acting like men, and it's not attractive. Like if a woman's not submissive enough, it's not attractive. They don't realize that they're coming off like men. And when you call them out on it, they call you a misogynist, right? Which, no, we're not misogynists. We're just men. And you ladies are trying to be men. And we're not attracted to you when you're trying to act like us. It's just that's what happens. Life is Great says if she starts trying to make you eat soybeans, better get away. That's funny, bro. Sorry, not bro. That's funny, bro. If she starts trying to make you eat soybeans, better get away. Yeah, no soy boy. No soy boys, right? EMK, hi everyone. Psychotic Savage, I agree. We don't have a friend zone in the middle of a relationship. Right, it's either there or it isn't. It's either there or it isn't. IMK says, don't you think that even though you're right, we should be a bit more discreet about our intentions to keep up the mystique and also not to pressure her? No, dude, because here's the thing, IMK. IMK, look, attraction is either there or it isn't, okay? And a lot of it for women nowadays has to do with physical attraction, right? Like, I've talked to many women that, liked everything about me, but I just wasn't their physical type, right? So this is the way women are looking at it nowadays. If they're not 100% or pretty close to 100% attracted to you physically, nothing else matters. So you have to understand that you got to get to the point quick. You got to meet and find out if there's physical chemistry. Now, you should talk on the phone for half an hour before meeting to see if the personality is good enough, right? Because let's say you meet and there's physical chemistry and you start dating her, but her attitude's horrible. Now you're dating a horrible woman that so happens to be good looking. That's still not going to work. You want a woman that takes care of herself physically and also is attracted to you physically, but also is a good woman outside of her looks, has more to bring to the table than just her looks and even any job that she has where she makes her money. She needs to have a great personality. Excuse me, hold on a second. Because of these allergies, my throat is really, really dry. And so, yeah, it's just the allergies are acting up. I got to keep liquid in me. I keep talking and I'm not drinking enough liquid. So my apologies for that, folks. My apologies. All right. So where are we at here? Life is great. I tell you, what 2 kids would be a lot to step into. She will want you to follow them. Dude, my ex-girlfriend had 2 teenage daughters, and it was the best relationship I ever had. It all depends on the woman. It all depends on the woman. The right woman is look, any woman is going to want you to accept those kids to a certain degree, right? My ex just said, look, I'm not looking for a father replacement, but just be nice to the girls. I'm not asking you for anything. I told her, I said, look, I appreciate that, but you know what? They come as a part of the package. Same with your female dog and your female cat. You told me when we first met, this was early on. This was after the first few times we met. She goes, you sure you want to be a part of this? There's a lot of estrogen in this house. My 2 teenage daughters, myself, and my female cat, my female dog. And I was laughing. I'm like, hey, I'm up for the challenge, right? And then about a week or so later, she was just saying, I'm not looking for a father replacement. Just be nice to them. I said, look, your girls are great, and I will do my part because as long as you're a good woman to me, I'm going to be good to you and your kids. And I did a lot more for her kids. She never asked me for a thing. She never asked me to do anything for her kids, which made me more so want to do things for her kids. And even when I would offer to do things for her kids, a lot of times they just wanted to do their own thing, right? It just depends on the woman, man. It just depends on the woman. But a lot of women are like what you're saying. A lot of women were not raised as great as my ex Dana was raised by her 2 parents. I mean, her parents they're like second parents to me. They were amazing people. They still are. Let's see. All right. Andrew Hondo. I don't even know who these guys are. I think these guys are trolls. A lot of them are. Give me a second here. Let's see. Rosie is still here. Hey, Rosie. Hello to all, says Information Man Show. Let me see here. As long as girl work and helps around the house, that's a keeper to me. That's good. That's good, Andrew. That's good. So Tribe, is this the bottom of YouTube self-help? Well, Hondo, you just got yourself banned too. Can you see me? Yes, Rosie. Why are you asking if we can see you? We can see you quite easily. All right. Okay, we are at the bottom of the chat. Let me read this final. Let me see here. Give me a second. Good morning, Riff Raff. Just know if you're here to troll, bro, you'll get banned immediately. There have been a lot of trolls coming in, and they've all been banned by my moderators or myself. So watch what you say. Just letting you know. It's not a big deal. So the final one that I'm going to go over before I take my first break is this other woman, 39 years old. And I'm going to tell you a story about this woman, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to share that story when I get back from the break because it's going to take a little while. Because I'm going to tell you, like, I looked into her. And it's perfectly legal to do this. So I'm going to share with you folks this story, and it's going to be really, really interesting. Riff Raff says, yes, sir, no worries. Okay, that's cool, bro. And I have my phone with me when I go on break, so I can still moderate. I'm just letting you guys know. Like, you know, you get all these trolls that just love Coach Eli, right? And they want to come in here and try to derail me. But, I mean, when is enough enough? Like, when are you trolls going to just get a life and focus on some more productive things than just trolling? Go troll someone else that's trollable. Like it doesn't get to me. So I'm going to queue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Folks, please like this stream. Thank you for the 12 likes so far. Please like this stream. Please share, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications. And how do you like the background tonight? The lightning. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? It's coming right on my head, right? Some of the trolls would say, I wish that lightning would strike you right on your bald head, right? I get it. It's all good. It's all good. It's not a big deal. It would just deflect off of my bald head, and it wouldn't kill me. It would deflect. It would deflect. Riff Magos and any other mods, can you please mod the chat? Can you guys please mod the chat because the trolling crew is out tonight. It's not a big deal, but please mod the chat so I don't have to do it. I'd appreciate that. Let me cue up some music here. I got sent here from a dude who said you were a good life coach. Well, who sent you, bro? Be specific. Who sent you here? And please give me a name that I can recognize, because only people that would know me would refer me and say something like that. So I'm just curious to know, man. It's all good. It's all good. But if you're being sincere, I appreciate that. Let me see. Let me see here. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a break. Riff Raff says Whiskey OG. Oh, wasn't he here yesterday? Okay. He was probably here yesterday. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so I'm going to step away for a break. Be back in 10 minutes or less. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back. Yes, stretch it. All right. All right. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. This is the Late Night with Coach Eli edition. Glad you could all join me here on this early Thursday morning. Today, we have been discussing there's a huge lack of consideration in the modern digital world, how to navigate this successfully. One more time, there's a huge lack of consideration in the modern digital world, how to navigate this successfully. And if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay when it goes to a replay, because I shared a couple of stories involving my dating life and not only what I'm dealing with when it comes to the dating world, but many of you guys and you gals as well. I mean, listen, I cater a lot of my content more towards men because men are having more issues dating nowadays than women, because women have more options nowadays, obviously because of modern day feminism and women's empowerment, women's lib, which is great for the most part. Like I've said, women having equal rights and working and providing for themselves and doing all that. That's great. That's not the issue. What the issue is the fact that, women now have a lot more options, which is not technically a bad thing, but women having those options that they've never had before, women are not, in my opinion, handling those options as best as possible. Also, women are emotional beings and women love attention. And it's created a whole big mess compared to how much easier things used to be during the days of traditionalism where women were dependent on a man for survival. And it made things a lot easier in the past. Now things have become more complicated, more difficult, and because this is so new, in the modern world. I mean, we're living in a world unlike anything in the past. It's a big challenge, even for good guys like myself that were born and raised in the traditional way. Now, I'm not saying I want to, be with a woman that's completely old school, but I want her to have those old school values while being a modern woman, at the same time respecting me as a man and I respect her as a woman, right? But that's not what's happening. And then you try to talk with women about that and they get offended and they call you a misogynist, which we're not. We're just men. Are we being called misogynists because we're men and we still want to be men even in the modern world? Are we supposed to now behave like women because many women are behaving like men? I mean, that's just not going to work, right? So go back and check out the replay. Shared a couple of stories. I'm going to share one more story here in a second. That's going to knock your socks off. It's going to blow you away. It's just funny. It's so funny. Like, I'm so intuitive. Like I can practically predict what a woman is thinking and what her intentions are before I even waste an extra second of time getting to know someone that's not going to go anywhere, right? And that's what I want to teach you guys and gals as well. Again, like I said, I primarily will create most of my content, towards men, but I also help women as well. It's just that men are having more issues nowadays than women are. I'm not saying women don't have issues. Some women have similar issues that men do, but most of them are on the flip side. So anyway, and you can always, whenever I cater my content to men, if you're a woman that's experiencing something similar as a man is in the examples I use, just flip it around. Because sometimes, you ladies are on the flip side of what I'm stating when I cater it more towards men. I think you understand what I'm saying there. So let's see. Rip says, trolling is a subtle art. Most of it goes over the intended's head. Smirks. Yeah, you know what, Riff? Here's the thing, bro. Thank you so much for moderating the chat earlier. I appreciate that, bro. I've known you for a while. You're a good Greek buddy of mine. Trolling is a major insecurity. And let's talk about that, pertaining to the topic. There's a huge lack of consideration in the modern digital world and how to navigate it successfully, right? So what do people want in the digital world? What do people want out here on YouTube or Facebook, if you're watching this over there, or social media? They want a part of the digital pie, meaning that they want to be relevant in some way, shape, or form. And in most cases, they also want to be able to monetize that and make a living off of it, right? That's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants a piece of the digital pie. So why do people troll instead of creating something that would make them more relevant and, create something more sustainable and create something that will make them money? Why aren't they doing that? And instead they're trolling. It's because they're insecure, they're immature, and the way that they see themselves is, if I try to do something legitimate, it probably wouldn't work. So I'm just going to troll and try to kick other people down that are becoming successful in the ways I wish I could create content and present myself on social media and become successful, right? It's a projection. That's all it is. I've been saying it all along. Trolls just project their insecurities onto people that they perceive better than them, right? I say that humbly because, I'm not a show-off, and I'm not trying to be better than anyone. I'm just being me. But that's how the trolls perceive that. So great comment there, Rip. Thank you so much for sharing that. Life is great. Never let them have any of your digital pizza. That's right. That's right. Or digital real estate, right? That's why we ban them on the spot and move forward. It's the way it goes around here in these necks of the wood. So anyway, I'm going to share another story here in a second that's going to knock your socks off regarding the dating world. And then I'm going to wrap up the show by sharing something that I saw happen over the last week or so. There was another content creator that recently interviewed the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, and gave her an award, right? And it's interesting. The video got way more dislikes than likes by a mile. And it was all because of the fact that they were talking about transparency, freedom of speech, the difference between, freedom of speech and YouTube allowing as much freedom of speech as possible, but also balancing it out with the responsibility to, the sponsors and, the consumers of content and other creators, right? There's a fine line on YouTube that has to be balanced. Hey, we don't want to silence people, but when people push the boundaries, right, we have to do certain things, that we're responsible for to make this as positive of a platform as possible, right? Riff says, mutters, or perhaps it's a great way to exercise one's sarcasm. That's true. That's true, but Riff, in my opinion, it's a projection of their insecurities, bro. That's what it's all about, in my opinion. But I respect you, bro. I respect your opinion, and thank you so much for being here. What time is it in your neck of the woods, Riff? And I noticed that these late night streams are easier for you to make because they're more so during the daytime in your neck of the woods, right, bro? So anyway, let's get to the third woman here. And I'll share with you what I did. Okay, so I sent this woman a message, right? And she gets back to me less than 10 minutes after I sent her a message. Life is Great says, I personally think even though they are a private business, they should be held to uphold the Constitution on the platform. Well, yes, bro. And I think they're doing a good job at it. But you have to understand that there's a difference, in my opinion, between hate speech and freedom of speech. And this is what a lot of people on the conservative side of things, the far right, or even the alt-right, this is what they're saying. They're saying that hate speech is part of freedom of speech. Okay? And I understand the argument, but on a private platform, it's up to them if they want to allow hate or not. And I don't think hate is good. I don't think hate is good, period. What these people are complaining is the fact of them not being allowed to attack or, create hatred on people. It's one thing to criticize someone for something they've done and criticize them in a respectful, professional, and mature way. It's another thing to attack people, bro. There's a difference there. And that's what they're balancing. And I support them on that completely. I think Susan Wojcicki and YouTube are doing a phenomenal job of, trying to keep this platform as clean as possible. Could they do a better job? Yes. I think they're not doing enough, but they're doing better than they did. So this woman gets back to me, one-liner. Hello, I like the directness of your profile. Okay, this is another woman that is not putting in a lot of effort. One-liner. She could have said, hey, Eli, I really like the directness of your profile. You seem like a good guy. I would love to get to know you better. Let me know if you want to talk by phone or something, right? But all she wrote was, hello, I like the directness of your profile. 39-year-old woman has a couple of kids, and there's more to the story because I looked into her, right? It's perfectly legal to look into people as long as you don't put that information privately or publicly. Sorry, you can do it privately, right? I wrote back and I said, thank you. Would you like my number so you can text me to arrange a call to get to know each other better? She gets back to me a minute later. Here's my number. Okay, great. She gave me her number. I didn't even ask her for her number. I offered my number, right? I wrote back, said, cool, I'll text you in a few, And she, that was it. Sorry, that was it. Now, let's go to the text messaging, right? So I sent her a text. And again, I'm going to refer to her as ma'am to not dox her name. Hi, ma'am. It is Eli from Match. It is great to connect with you off Match. How's your day going? And lo and behold, what's the first thing she mentions? Good. I'm just getting ready. The old 9 to 5. Right. Mention your job like every woman does now. Girl power. I'm working. Right? I'm happy you're working, but I could care less about your job right now. I want to get to know you. Why do women always feel the need to flex their job or mention their job? Every single time the job, I worked a long day, I worked long hours, I'm working the old 9 to 5. It's all about the job. I don't care about your job right now at this point. I want to get to know who you are. EMK says, sounds good so far. Well, just wait, bro. I wrote back and said, sounds great. Would you like to talk by phone later tonight and go from there? What do you think? And I just threw it in there. Did you like my photos? Because that's important, right? She writes back and says, I think that sounds good. I do have kids. No kidding. It was in your profile. But I can usually chat comfortably. Tonight from 6:30 to 7 or any day after 8:45. Okay. I wrote back and said, how about 9 p.m. tonight? ? What time is your bedtime? I don't want to rush our call. I'd like to give us a good amount of time to get to know each other if that works for you, right? I'll give you the option, right? She gets back to me and says, I usually go to bed around 8:30 or 9. And she has this smiley and, cracking up emojis, right? I wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym. I can stay up later, though. Okay, great. So she's saying, I can stay up later to talk with you. Great. So far, so good, right? I didn't like the way it started out. It was a quick message, but okay. She recovered in the texting, right? I wrote back and said, let's do 9 p.m. And I promise I'll tuck you in by 10 p.m. at the latest. Ha, 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 right? Okay, LOL. She goes, sounds good. LOL. I wrote back and said, looking forward to it. We're off to a great start. I'll text you right at 9 before I call. For now, have a great day. Okay? That was 7:54 a.m. yesterday morning. Mr. Wondering Haggis, welcome to the show, bro. Glad to have you here, man. Thank you for being here. All right. So what did I do in the meantime? In the meantime, and I'll do this sometimes, I check people out, right? It's perfectly legal to do so. I don't care what anybody says. There are many dating sites that offer you to run background checks on people, right? But I have my own program, right? So I took her number, put it through my background check program, and then I found her Facebook, right? And I'm looking at this woman. I scroll back, and 2 years ago, this woman literally, if I had to guess what she weighed, about 300 pounds. And then I'm looking at her public Facebook postings, and she went on this weight loss journey. Now, this woman, how tall is this woman? 5'4", okay? 5'4", and in those older pictures a couple years ago, she was a large woman, no disrespect. She was obese. Like, I'd say 300 pounds, no joke, right? Okay? So she started this weight loss journey, and she started to do updates on her Facebook publicly, which is why I was able to see it. We're not friends, obviously, on Facebook. She started to do public updates on Facebook, right? And you could see her losing weight, right? Now, her current pictures, she's still a little bit thick, but she looks like she lost, I'd have to say she's probably about 5'4", 160, where she used to be 5'4", 300. She's lost about 140 pounds. And she looks cute. Like, she still has a little extra on her. And she, like she said, she goes to the gym every morning. She's still working on it, but she is at least attractive enough to me at this point at 160 pounds, which is what she appears like she looks like now in her current pictures, for me to, be attracted to her. And she's still working on her fitness goal. I'm like, that's a cool person to be around, right? Right? She'd probably love to go hiking to continue getting more and more fit, right? And let's say she loses another 20 pounds and she's 5'4", 140, and then she gets down to 5'4", 130, she'll be super hot, right? Now, I don't expect a woman to be in the perfect shape, but I like the story. I like what this woman has done to turn her life around. This is a great story, right? But I've seen other people go through this type of weight loss journey before and how it affected them and their attitude. This is not the end of the story, folks. Okay? So now that you know a little bit more about her, okay, now let's go back to the texting. Remember, I told her I would text her around 9 o'clock, at 9 o'clock to arrange our call, right? So 9 o'clock came, and I needed 5 more minutes, right, to get settled in. I wrote, "Hi, ma'am, I'll call you in 5 minutes, looking forward to it," right? Okay? So at 9:05, I had not heard back from her. So I wrote, "Are you ready for me to call?" And then, I wasn't sitting by my phone waiting. I'll watch TV or do something else, right? But I'll just say, I waited. 9:18 came. She didn't respond. And so I wrote to her, I said, "It is now almost 9:20 and I haven't heard from you. Maybe we can try again another time. Good night." So she either ghosted me between the time we talked earlier and arranged the call, or she didn't ghost me and she was talking to another guy that she met through Mesh.com throughout the day that she's perceiving to have more of an attraction for. Right? It could either be that or it could be another thing. This woman just lost 140 pounds and is probably getting more attention now than she ever has. Because when you're 300 pounds, no disrespect, you're not going to get much of any attention. Maybe a little, but not a whole lot, right? Now, she's lost this weight. She's feeling empowered. Right? She's a modern woman. She's working, taking care of her kids, right? I believe she went through a divorce recently because she has kids, right? She's 39, so she's a millennial. She's been indoctrinated in this millennial culture. So all these things that each typical woman deals with, and then add on the fact that she just had a life-changing transformation that is now getting her more attention than she's probably either seen in a long time or never seen before, right? So a woman like this is going to love the attention that she hasn't received in a while. It's like validation, right? And even if I am the best fit for her to talk with, the fact that other guys are now noticing her, and maybe a lot of them, now she's kind of like, trying to talk to all of them, right? And again, what probably happened was she probably started talking with another guy. Maybe a few other guys messaged her, maybe 10 or 20 other guys, and maybe one or two of those guys that messaged her, maybe she perceived them to be more attractive. She's 39. Maybe they were closer to her age. I'm 47. For whatever reason, she, didn't show up for the call. We scheduled a call. She agreed to it. And she didn't even have the courtesy to say, hey, Eli, can we reschedule the call for tomorrow? Something came up. Some type of BS, right? Even something to acknowledge the fact that, hey, Eli, I don't want to be rude. I think you're a good guy. I want to get to know you. Can we reschedule tomorrow? Even if she's talking to another guy, she can just tell me, let's reschedule tomorrow. Something came up, right? So obviously she's not interested. Or she was interested, but she's talking to one or two other guys that she perceives them to be of either higher value or more attractive sexually or whatever, right? This is what you're up against nowadays, guys. You can show up, be yourself, be cool, right? Do the right thing, right? You can sit there and message 100 women on Match.com, for example. Get 10 replies. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you get 10 replies, and let's say 7 of them, they get back to you and say, thank you for your message, we're not interested. Even though I put that in my profile, please don't respond if you're not interested, to tell me you're not interested, but they still do that. So whatever, right? So 7 out of those 10 responses out of the 100 messages you sent are going to be that. Then the other 3 are going to be women that are interested, right? Right? And then, you get their numbers, right? And then you schedule one to go on a phone call with, and then when it's time for the phone call, boom, you're ghosted, right? So here's the thing. Let's see, riff. Just remember, kids, only the uncouth self-awareness challenged ones consider truth opinion. No, you're right. You're right, Riff. That makes perfect sense. Hey, Eric, welcome to the show. I didn't think of it like that. Damn, Coach Eli is good at dissecting people. I'm very intuitive, bro. And look, I don't want my time wasted. I'm 47 years old. I don't have time to waste. I want to make whatever is left of my life, the next 30, 40, 50 years, whatever is left, I want it to be productive. I either want to do live streams or videos and run my business, or I want to hang out with a woman that is really into me, has a high level of interest, and is not going to play games, right? And a lot of people say, well, it's the online world that's creating this. Well, yes, it kind of is, right? They're saying if you meet women in person, it's different. No, it's not. No, it's not, because they're getting the same attention. Women are women. The online world is just a place where you can easily meet people that are outside of your area that you would have not met had it not been for the online world. Because before the internet came out, we were all limited to our local area to go to bars, which I never thought was a good place to meet women anyway. Bars, churches, other social events, right? Maybe your friend set you up with somebody or something, right? We were limited to that. But what the internet's done is it's allowed us to expand our reach to a certain radius, which you can set, right? I set mine to about 100 miles. The longest distance relationship I've had was with a woman that was 75 miles away, 70 or 75 miles away. That's not that far. That's not that far. You can literally drive that in an hour and 20 minutes with no traffic, right? Hour 15, hour 20 minutes, no traffic, right? Okay. So, I do think online dating is a good way to meet women if you use the right online dating sites. I suggest Match.com, maybe eHarmony, and maybe Bumble as a third. Those are the only three that I've seen have far less spam and scam attempts on there. But the other sites, Tinder, Tinder and OkCupid and Plenty of Fish, they're either more for just hookups, and they typically only benefit extremely attractive people, or there are a lot of spam people on there as well. So that is that. So that's what we're up against nowadays, folks. Remember, you're dealing with, and again, ladies, I have a lot of respect for women and men. I respect, men and women that deserve respect, but there are good and bad men and good and bad women, right? Okay? At the end of the day, even the women that aren't bad women are emotional beings, and they go through things. And women's emotions are like the sea, rise and fall, right? Women respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. In this case, this woman, she made an appointment. Let's call it an appointment, right? We set up a time to talk. Let's call it that. Let's not make it an appointment. Let's make it sound that way, right? She set up a time with me, agreed to a time to talk. And when it came time to talk, I didn't hear back from her, right? I always text people before I call them because I want to give them a heads up in case they need a little more time to take care of something. That's respectful, right? I want the same respect too, right? So that's what I give, right? But when I reached out to her, hey, she didn't get back to me, right? And because I feel she probably got some other messages and, connected with a few other guys that she sees as more physically attractive or more of the personality she wants or closer to her age or whatever, right? Something happened between 7:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. when we were supposed to talk that made me go from being her best option to being on the back burner now. Now I'm on the back burner, which, ma'am, I'm not ever on anyone's back burner. I just move on, right? Now, even if this woman texts me tomorrow and says, sorry, Eli, I got caught up with something, I'm not going to respond to her, right? Because she could have sent me a quick message saying, Eli, something came up. I need to reschedule our call. She could have done that at any point between 7:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. She could have even done it by 10 p.m., right? But if it goes overnight to the next day, that means somebody else replaced me from being at the top of her mind, right? And I'm not going to play that game. I'm not. And neither should you guys. And neither should you ladies if guys do that to you, right? One Night Man says, or just get out there in the real world and meet women in person. Stay away from these dating apps. They're trash. And no, they do work, bro. And bro, listen, there are bad and good men and women online, and there are bad and good men and women offline. It doesn't matter whether you're online or offline, right? What you see in person is if you have a physical attraction. In person, you can gauge a physical attraction much quicker, but you have no clue what that person is like. Online dating allows you to get to know a little bit about who they are as a person, and see their pictures. And you can have a phone conversation. If you like how it's going so far, you need to see if that physical chemistry is there. But you don't invest too much time, on the phone because it also depends on the physical chemistry in person. But yeah, that's your opinion, and I get it. But I think that both online and offline, dating, meeting people online or offline. It's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing. Life is great. I think it is easier in person too, and you both can feel if you're attracted immediately. Just my opinion. I just said that, but there's a 25-second delay, and you didn't hear that until after you typed it. I agree with you. Life is great. I totally agree with you. But like I also said earlier, just because you meet a woman at the supermarket or at a club or a bar or wherever, right, or church or wherever, it doesn't mean that it's going to go somewhere just because you're physically attracted to each other, right? Okay, you can gauge that physical attractiveness, right? And you two may hang out, right? And maybe you'll sleep together right away. But then you realize that you're not looking for the same thing. I would rather not invest any time in a woman, no matter how hot she is, even if she wanted to sleep with me, unless I know what she really wants and what her true intentions are. And see, I believe online dating gives you that chance to get to know someone for who they are before you meet in person, right? So either way, you're taking a risk, right? Online dating, you have to invest a little time to get to know their personality. And then if it's worthy of meeting them in person, then you take that chance to see if the physical chemistry is there. Because even if everything else besides the physical chemistry isn't there, even if everything is there besides the physical chemistry, there we go. The physical chemistry still has to be there, or the other stuff doesn't matter. There we go. It's a little late, and I'm sorry for jumbling my words there for a second. So that is that. Now let me talk about one more thing here. Before I go off the air. Get your questions in now, because I'll be going off the air within about 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 at the most. Now let me find where. There it is. Now let me just lower the volume of my phone so the audio doesn't go through. So this content creator that runs a channel named Freedom Forum, FREEDOM FORUM, 2 words. She has 13.9K subscribers, and she is a blind YouTuber. She's actually pretty cute. And she actually decided to somehow got the attention of Susan Wojcicki and wanted to give her an award called the Free Expression Award. Now, I'm not sure if that's an award given by, her Freedom Forum, which is what she runs. All right, hang on, ringside. I'll get to you in just a second here. So anyway, this blind YouTuber, a nice young lady that runs the Freedom Forum channel, interviewed Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, and I believe she created this free expression award, right? And Susan Wojcicki came on, it was a pre-recorded interview, and she asked Susan some questions, and one of the questions was, how do you handle, freedom of speech on the platform, or something to that extent? And Susan said the same thing she's always said. She goes, we do believe in freedom of speech. But, we also have to run our platform responsibly because of our, we have our sponsors, and, we have consumers of content, and we have other creators, and we, are doing the best we can to balance out and, allow as much content as possible. Very professionally stated. I completely agree with her, right? I've never had a problem. I've been running this channel for 2.5 years now. It's been monetized for 1.5 years, and all my videos pretty much are fully monetized, right? And I've never had a community guideline strike, and I've never had a copyright strike or even a content ID claim or anything like that, right? No problem, right? But let me tell you what the like and dislike ratio is on this video. It has 24,000 thumbs down and only 93 thumbs up. I gave it a thumbs up. Let me tell you why it has so many thumbs down. Because let me tell you who the most active audience is out here on YouTube. Like I've said in the past, there are liberals and there are, conservatives on this platform, and there are all types of people, right? But the most active audience that speaks out or lashes out are the conservatives, the conservative extremists, and the alt-right. And what are they really mad about? They're mad about the fact that they can't come on here and use racial slurs and use hateful content because they're going to get shut down for that, and they have been shut down for that. These people feel that freedom of speech should allow racial slurs, attacking people. It should allow defamation of character. It should allow hateful stuff, hateful and inappropriate stuff, right? And all Susan is saying is, look, we're just trying to balance it out as best as possible. And content that crosses the line, we remove. If it crosses the line of our community guidelines, we remove it, right? Now, if there's content that rides the line, meaning that there are creators that push the boundaries right up to the line, that content gets suppressed and doesn't get recommended through the system, which it shouldn't be recommended. Honestly, I think that content should be removed too, right? For creators like me that are here to create positive content and to help people, this is what I respect this. This makes perfect sense. For the other creators, why are they creating such hateful content that gets them removed in the first place? Why? Because that's all they have, or at least that's all they think they have, right? There are many creators I have seen on this platform that get a lot of traction when they use racial slurs, they attack other people, they create drama streams, right? They do all that stuff, right? But then they try to create real content and they get 1/4 the traction. So why do they do it? For the reasons I just mentioned, right? And YouTube knows it, and all they're trying to do is do the right thing. But when I saw this video, and it only has 78,000 views, not bad for a channel with 13K subs, 78,000 views, 24,000 thumbs down, and 93 thumbs up. No, life is great. Listen, bro, I can understand how hate speech can be subjective, but what is it subjective to, brother? Hate speech is hate speech, bro. If you call someone the N-word, or you call another culture their slur, that's hate speech, bro. If you harass someone, if you dox someone, if you attack someone on their gender, attack someone on their sexual orientation, that's all hateful stuff. That's hateful, inappropriate, and abusive content. You see, the thing is this: hate speech is hate speech. That's the bottom line. I mean, I get when you say hate speech is anything they don't agree with, it's too subjective. Well, it's your opinion, man. I hate to say I disagree with it. Hate speech is hate speech, in my opinion. Life is Great says free speech is speech whether they like it or not. This alt-right thing is a figment of imagination. Maybe 3% is alt-right. Well, no, bro. It's more than that. Over 70 million people are alt-right. They're the ones that support Donald Trump. You see, here's the thing. The people that support Donald Trump, about 70 million people, even to this day, they're not real conservatives. Trump wants to start the Patriot Party, right? And there's nothing patriotic about these people, right? These people may think that they're conservatives, but they're not. They're alt-right. They're alt-right because they're the conspiracy theorists, right? And these people think that, freedom of speech should include hate speech, should include any type of speech. I mean, it's ridiculous. Why do we need to live in a world where we want to allow people to get attacked on public social media platforms? And if we allowed that, if there were no rules here on YouTube, how horrible would this platform be, right? There has to be some rules. Other people out here say, well, there's too much government. And we want to live in a society with no government. If there was no government, we would all shoot each other. This is just my opinion, right? I'm a good guy. I love everyone until they give me a reason to not love them. And then I just ignore them. I don't attack them. I don't hate on them, right? Even if they've done hateful things to me, does it bother me maybe for a second? But then I say, look, they're just an unhappy person, right? I'm going to let them go. Why can't we handle it that way? Why can't we handle things professionally, respectfully, and maturely? Right? I've been talking about this freedom of speech versus hate speech thing, right? And this is where a huge lack of consideration comes into play, like the topic states, this is where a huge lack of consideration comes into play by these creators, especially out here on YouTube, that are saying, you're violating our First Amendment. No, they're not. You're being a hateful, disgusting person. I don't want to hear that crap out here. Quite frankly, if you came to my place and started talking that way, I'd kick your ass out. I don't want to be around any of that negativity. It's negativity, right? Should we allow negativity on the platform? Should we allow negativity? Some negativity is going to happen. To a certain extent, I can see it, right? But should we allow hateful and abusive attacks on social media? Do we allow it in real life? What happens when we attack people in real life? People call the cops. People get arrested, right? So why can't YouTube handle, and other social media platforms, why shouldn't they be able to handle things digitally in the same ways that we handle them in real life? It seems like people want to come out on social media and run their mouths with no repercussion. They also want to hide behind the avatar and the username, right? And most of the people that talk about, freedom of speech should include even hate speech and all that are people that aren't using their real name or showing their face, right? At least when I come out here, this is with no disrespect to you, Life is Great, or anyone else. I'm just saying, when I come out here, I show my face, my real name, Elias, Melas, Coach Eli. I've been doxxed. My family's been doxxed. I've been harassed and stalked. And I'm still going, and I still believe in the same thing. I still fight for what I believe in, no matter what. The reason why other people don't show their face or use their name is because they know that they're going to be attacked in the same ways I've been attacked. But at least I would respect the opinions of these people a lot more if I knew who they really were. You see what I'm saying? If you have a faceless troll on the internet, I'm not calling you a troll, Life is Great, but I don't know who you are, right? And I'm not saying I don't value your opinion. I do. I just disagree with it, right? And I can respectfully disagree with it and we move forward, right? Let's see here. Ringside MXBC. This is, get your questions in now, folks, because I'm going to go off the air in a few. Coach Eli, from your experience, where do the good women usually come from? Work, lifestyle. Nowadays, bro, it's a crapshoot. That's the honest truth. That's my opinion. That's based on my experiences. Like, women, no matter where you meet them nowadays, in my opinion, online or offline, no matter what country they're from, right? Now, if they're in the Western world, the thing is, Western women are different than Eastern women. But let me tell you something. You don't think that Eastern women, are seeing what's happening in the Western world, and you don't think that they're changing the way that they used to be back in the days of traditionalism. It's the same thing wherever you go. It's the whole, I wouldn't even call it the feminist agenda. That's what a lot of people have said. What's basically happened is this: women being liberated has given women opportunities to provide for themselves. So now they don't have to go out there and seek out a man for survival, right? So it's like women have more options now, and they have more time, and women are also choosing to never get married or have kids, right? That's not how it used to be, right? So because of all that, and every woman is a part of that now, whether they realize it or not, it's a crapshoot where you're going to find a few women that are more old school and old fashioned, right? So you just put yourself out there. Like I said, every so often, get on a dating site, message 100 women. You're going to get 10 responses. 7 are going to be, I'm not, thank you for your email, but we're not the right fit. 3 of them will show interest. 2 of them may send you their number, and maybe you'll get on a phone call with one of them, and maybe that might just work out. If it doesn't work out, you repeat the same process. It gets tedious, right? But because, in my opinion, there are very few women nowadays that are not going to flex their muscles due to being liberated, it's just going to take a lot longer for you to find them wherever you look for them, whether it's online, whether it's offline, whether it's church, whether it's a bar, which I never liked the bar scene anyway, right? But it doesn't matter, man, because it's the same thing. These women online are the same women that are living in real life, right? They're just online, right? That's the only difference, right? It doesn't matter, man. Work, lifestyle, I mean, they're all working. They all have to balance their work and personal life in order to fit a man in. And let me tell you something. Women working now is, like I said, it's not a bad thing for women being liberated, but it's taking a lot of their time and energy that they would normally be focusing on having a family life with somebody or having a relationship with somebody that could lead to marriage and a family. That's what's happening, guys and gals. That's the truth. Also, another problem is when a woman cheats on you, it's a psychotic savage. You're right. You're right. You immediately leave that. You don't put yourself in that position. Or you don't stay in that position. You don't stay in that relationship. You move on. Riff Michael says, I'll tell you, Eli, these online women are going to drive you crazy if you let them. No, women in general will drive you crazy if you let them. I don't let them drive me crazy. I just come out here to share my stories, Riff, because I want guys to know they're not alone. I also want women to know there are good women out there that are struggling on the flip side with men that are doing similar things, right? It's not just men that this is happening to, it's happening to women. But it's more so happening to men based on what I've mentioned throughout this entire show. But you're right, Rip, I get it. If you let anyone drive you crazy, they're going to drive you crazy, sure. Life is Great says Susan needs a session with Eli to reset her priorities. Well, I mean, I'd love to talk with her, and I think I could have a great interview with her. And I live literally 22 miles south of YouTube headquarters in San Bruno. Redwood City is 22 minutes south. Maybe one day, if I get big enough, you guys help me grow my channel, I get big enough that I can get an interview with her. Maybe I can get into the YouTube headquarters and broadcast from there. That'd be great. Life is Great. Already read that. One Night Man says, soon the new algorithm won't let you say his name anymore. Gonna have to call him Mr. T. LOL. And no, I'm not trolling when I say that. Okay. I don't think it'll get that bad, dude, but I get what you're saying. Ringside MXB says there are limitations on freedom of speech, hence hate speech. Coach Eli is on point. Well, again, Ringside MXBC. Freedom of speech doesn't allow you to go out there and blow somebody's head off because you disagree with their opinion, right? You go to jail for that, right? So why should we allow people to come out here on YouTube and do the digital version of blowing someone's head off, right? So in real life, if you were to, show up at somebody's place and because you disagree with them, you take your gun and you blow their head off, right? They die, right? This is an example, right? What's going to happen? You're going to go to jail, right? And you're going to have murder charges and you're going to get convicted, right? Out here on YouTube, instead of doing that, people do the digital version of that, right? But they do it with words. They'll even death threat you out here. Do you think death threats are allowed? I've been death threatened by many people out here, right? And I've got those streams downloaded where people have made clear death threats on me. There was even one death threat made on a panel of people, and when the main person made the death threat, there was another person on there that said, "I feel the same way about that, low key." And this person knows who he is. I'm not going to mention him though. Like, this guy made a death threat to me, and then another guy on the panel that agreed with him said, I agree, low key. There's nothing low key about that, sir. That's a death threat. So should we allow death threats as part of our freedom of speech? Let me ask you that. Seriously. I appreciate your comment, Ringside MXBC. Look, I don't want my freedom of speech silenced. I want to be able to say what I want to say, but for Christ's sake, I'm also a good human being and a good man, and I don't wish harm upon anyone. Why should we wish harm upon anyone just because we disagree on something? Or some people out here want to do such cringy things to get traction because they can't build something real that's sustainable? That's the problem right there, right? That's what those people are really mad about, right? I just sent a hangout out, Eli. Yeah, I think you're doing a panel, bro. If I can make it tomorrow, I will. Thank you for sharing that. I'll check my messages later or tomorrow morning or later this morning. Psychotic Savage, cyberbullying needs to be stopped. That's why YouTube is now stepping in. Well, they've been stepping in for years, bro, but they need to amp it up more. There are so many instances of cyberbullying out here on YouTube that I flagged and many other people flagged, and that content is still up to this day. But that's the borderline content they're talking about, and they don't recommend that content. In my honest opinion, they need to do more even on that borderline content. They should be removing it, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Thank you for your comments, Psychotic Savage. Mr. Wondering Haggis, amen, Eli, to that one. What amen to what's, Mr. Wondering Haggis? Let me know, bro. Coach Donovan Wayne. Well, you're a troll making fun of people that I've talked about. Coach Donovan Wayne. You're making fun of Donovan Sharp and Coach Corey Wayne. Why don't you just come in here with your real name? Like, why do you have to hide? Why do you have to hide like a coward, like a sissy? Seriously. Why are you people cowards to not put your face on your avatar and put your real name? Why are you such a coward, right? I'm not calling you a coward, Coach Donovan Wayne, because I think you're saying something respectful. But let me read this. If the way of the past is the default and the feminine way to women, why do Eastern women want to even change it like the Western women did? Could it be that women are just jealous of men by nature? No, women are not jealous of men by nature. They're not jealous of men by nature. Women have always looked up to a man for their strength. Women have always had their biological purpose just like men have. Women's purpose was to take care of the house, to cook the meals, to be the nurturing one, to raise the kids, to have the babies because, she has the reproductive system. The man, his sperm gets her pregnant. He goes out into the wilderness, risks his life to go and bring food home to his family, right? Right? We all have our biological purposes that are still true to this day. And what's happened is we've artificially changed things in the way they were meant to be by a higher power I believe to be God. Now, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from women. I'm happy that women are liberated, right? But look what it's done. It's created an artificial way of life that both men and women are struggling with. And while women are making their own money, they're successful, they're buying their own homes, their own cars, the divorce rate is 60%. Where in the past, it used to be 10 or 20%, right? You do the math, put two and two together. Why is the divorce rate so high? You know why. Coach Donovan Wayne, men just need to control women's behavior to fix this. There is no other way around. Well, it's the beta males. I keep talking about it. The beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. The beta mons are the feminized men, the effeminate men that give women all the attention, right? They're the ones that will go and pay women money to do strip teases like on OnlyFans, or the webcam models that do strip teases, right? For money, right? On these porn sites, right? Who pays for that? Not guys like me, so I can get real women. It's the men, the beta mons, beta mons, beta mons. And when you have 97% of the men in this world are beta, who has the options? Women have all the options because the beta mons are giving it to them. Not making fun. I like them both. That's cool, Coach Donovan Wayne. I'm not a big fan of Donovan Sharp, but I'm the hugest fan of Coach Corey Wayne. And he's even conservative. I still love his stuff. He's a good guy. I did not insult you. I never said you insulted me, Coach Donovan Wayne. Mr. Wondering Haggis says, amen to what you said about people on YouTube coming on here and hide in their faces. Right. I don't respect anyone's opinion that doesn't show a face and a name. Sorry. I can't respect, but here's the thing. There are some people here that will come in on an account that doesn't show their name or face, and they're respectful. But if you're going to be disrespectful and you're going to hide in plain sight, I'm not going to, number one, we'll just ban you. And number two, I don't respect that. What's there to respect from someone that's non-existent, right? Or by someone non-existent. Okay, we are cool. I don't even know who you are, Coach Donovan Wayne, but you probably know who I am. Do I know you, Coach Donovan Wayne, from the past? I bet I know you. I bet you know me. Are you Blue Ball Brandon? All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. We are at 2 hours and 4 minutes. I really enjoyed doing this show today. Doxing is a problem. It is a problem. It's a huge problem. But people do it every day on YouTube, and they're still on the platform, right? You flag them down, and they don't get taken down. Sometimes they do. YouTube needs to get a department that's solely dedicated to community guideline violations and doxing and all that stuff. They need to start reacting to removing stuff immediately. Sometimes you flag something and it goes down 6 months later. YouTube needs to do it like Facebook does. They need a dedicated department that reacts to everything flagged within 15 minutes to 2 hours max. People need to protect themselves. Sure they do. But we need to remove people that are causing the issues in the first place, dude. That's what we need to do. So, with that being said, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back later today for at least one show. I've still been trying to get out there and do a walking stream, but my allergies have been killing me, so I've been working out in my place. So hopefully I'll get a walking stream out again soon. With that being said, have yourselves a great one, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.